You can live in a European paradise for $3,200 a month, but if you show up with a remote salary instead of a dividend yield, Portugal will reject your residency on the spot. The D7 retirement visa remains the ultimate fire hack for 2026, but the definition of passive income has shifted significantly since 2025. Subscribe. New Nomad finance strategy drops every week. The first mistake most nomads make in 2026 is applying for the wrong visa. While the D7 is often called the retirement visa, it is actually for anyone with recurring passive income. However, according to the Portugal News, as of May 15, 2026, the distinction between the D7 and the D8 digital nomad visa is now strictly enforced. If your income comes from a remote salary or active freelancing, you must use the D8, which currently requires a much higher monthly income of around $3,500. The D7 is reserved for those who can prove they don't need to work to survive. Yeah, 1. 2. This makes the D7 the perfect vehicle for the FIRE community. Those living off portfolio withdrawals, real estate, or intellectual property. Heading into 2027, trying to fudge active work as passive income is a fast track to a rejected renewal. What exactly counts as passive for your Portuguese application? According to a June 3, 2026 report from Portugalist, the authorities look for 4 specific buckets: dividends from a brokerage account like Interactive Brokers, rental income from properties, pensions, and royalties, 3-4. Unlike 2025, where some consulates were lenient with stable freelance contracts, the 2026 standard requires a transferable yield that exists independent of your labor. For our $3,200 target, you need to show roughly $38,400 in annual passive inflow to comfortably clear the residency threshold. The government technically requires only the Portuguese minimum wage, around €820, but in practice, showing only the minimum often leads to visa delays. We recommend a safety buffer of at least $2,000 per month in documented passive income for a single applicant. Why is $3,200 the magic number for 2026? According to Get Golden Visa, the cost of living for a comfortable expat life in Portugal has risen since 2025 due to housing demand in major hubs, 2026, 05-31. A realistic 2026 breakdown for a sophisticated nomad looks like this: $1,500 for a modern apartment in a secondary city, $400 for groceries, $200 for private health insurance, and $1,100 for travel and discretionary spend. If this is saving you money, hit like. It helps more nomads find this channel. While you can technically survive on less, this budget allows you to maintain the lifestyle you're used to while using Wise or Revolut for seamless multi-currency management. 5-6. Remember, Portugal was ranked among the top 10 countries to retire in 2026 for its balance of cost and quality of life by MSN on June 8, 2026. The tax landscape in Portugal has changed drastically. The original NHR program, which offered a 0% tax rate on foreign passive income, was largely closed and replaced in 2024 by the IFICI regime. Under the 2026 IFICI rules, the focus has shifted toward innovation and scientific research, meaning most standard D7 applicants will fall under the regular progressive tax brackets. For a U.S. citizen, this is where the foreign tax credit, FTC, becomes your best friend. Instead of the FEIE, which only covers earned income, the FTC allows you to credit the taxes you pay to Portugal against your U.S. tax bill. For detail, since Portuguese tax rates on $38,000 can reach 25% or more, you will likely owe zero to the IRS after claiming the credit on Form 1116, Ixure 4. Always calculate your net yield after local tax to ensure your $3,200 budget remains intact. To generate $3,200 a month sustainably, we apply the 4% rule used in the FIRE community. To pull $38,400 annually without depleting your capital over 30 years, you need a portfolio of roughly $960,000 in global ETFs, like VWCE 49. However, if you are a U.S. person, you must avoid non-U.S. ETFs to stay clear of punitive PFIC tax rules. Using a U.S. domiciled fund like VTI via Interactive Brokers ensures you keep your tax reporting simple and your expense ratios low at 0.03%. 3-4. If you are using real estate for your passive income, aim for a net yield of 5% after management fees and repairs. This provides a buffer against the inflation we've seen through early 2026. As we head into 2027, the real value in Portugal is found by looking outside the capital. Lisbon and Porto have seen significant price appreciation, But secondary markets like the Silver Coast or the interior offer incredible lifestyle arbitrage. According to a June 4, 2026 report from Get Golden Visa, mobility and infrastructure in the interior have improved, making it easier to live remotely while keeping rent under $1,000. This strategy turns your $3,200 budget from comfortable into luxury. Places like Guimarães or Coimbra offer authentic Portuguese charm, with much lower overhead margins and cheese. By shifting your hub just 60 minutes away from a major airport, you can save enough to fully fund your travel bucket every single year. Now you have the exact numbers to make a D7 residency work in 2026. But a European residency is only half the battle if your banking setup isn't structured for long-term travel. In my next video, I'm revealing the 3 offshore LLC structures that cost under $500 to set up and are fully compatible with Portuguese residency. Subscribe so you don't miss that one. It's the key to protecting the wealth you're building.